Hi everyone, I'm Sia Lund, and today we're going to discuss about role of arts in STEM education. We all know what does STEM stand for. Yes, science, technology, engineering, and maths. But now we have arts in it, and so it becomes STEAM education, right? Now the aims of this uh, today's workshop is to discuss about creative expressions in STEM activities, to understand cultural diversity in artistic expressions, and to self-reflect and try out a little mini assessment, creating, an art-infused STEM lesson. Okay. But before we go on to discussing about art in STEM, I would like you to pause, ponder, and wonder. So if you have a paper and a pencil near you, please use it to now draw an object or something that you resonate with. You can look around yourself in the room. Is there something that you think resonates with you? Something that you is something that you feel is related to you? Anything that can, represents your personality. You can take 3 minutes to draw that. And I want you to constantly think and reflect on what you resonated with and why. And once you're done, I want to, just ask you to reflect on how you felt when you were drawing that, or was it difficult for you to pick some object out from the environment that you can resonate with? How did you do it, and why did you do that? Why did you use that object? I would love to hear your comments, or I would love to even hear you, directly when we meet at the live feedback session. But please do reflect on what helped you, what object helped you resonate with it, and why, because that's very important. Because that will bring us to actually reasoning out why is art so important. Because when we, draw something, or we, pick something out for that resonates with us, how do we feel? How do we feel? We feel amazing, we feel relaxed because we have expressed ourselves. Yes. And that's what art does, right? It helps us to express ourselves and thereby create a sense of peace and calmness. So no wonder that experts all around the world have decided to integrate arts into STEM, right? And directly into the mainstream education. Okay, moving on to a famous quote by Loris Malaguzzi, who was a famous early childhood educator and one of my favorites. He was the founder of Reggio Emilia approach. He said that creativity becomes more visible when adults try to be more attentive to the cognitive processes of children than to the results they achieve in various fields of doing and understanding. Which, brings us to the next thought, that yes, process is more important than the product. So it's important, to allow children to express themselves. And, we talk about freedom of expression, right? That helps, open up certain neural pathways in the child's mind to be able to function correctly, to be able to be problem solvers, or, do just about anything in their lives, or to their best capacity. So yes, as educators, we must allow that freedom of expression and allow them to express their creativity by just, and often as adults, we can just stand by and watch how they, how it unfolds. Because you will see that if we don't intervene, uh, there are, certain processes that children use to solve problems or to, be creative for that matter. So that brings us to this question, why then do we need to add art to STEM? Yes, it does become STEAM, but why? Why do we need to integrate arts? Any benefits? Yes, it does enhance creativity. Yes, create critical thinking. Yeah, and problem solving skills. We will learn a lot more about all of this in the future modules as we'll cover them as we go ahead. Uh, So if you have any questions, hold on to them. You can either type them out in the comment section, or you could also ask us during our live feedback, or just wait for the next few modules to unfold. And so the second point is, yes, engages diverse learners from different backgrounds, and also not just backgrounds, but not just cultural backgrounds, but also children who learn differently. Some children, you all must have heard of different learners, right? So there are various learners. There's tactile learners, there could be kinesthetic learners, there are audio visual learners, yes, auditory learners, visual learners. So all of those different diverse learnings, it engages all those different learners. It promotes a healthy integration, a healthy kind of engagement for all kinds of learners. It promotes inclusive learning environment. Yes. And it also fosters a love for learning and curiosity about the world. So now let us talk about role of arts and science. Now, what have often found is that science is a very tricky concept. But when I was thinking about how this works in our earlier setup, I realized that you know art is the best way to teach scientific concepts to children, because colors are everywhere, right? Colors are like beautiful. Even if you think of a rainbow, you know that there is a science behind the beautiful colors. You know that there is a science behind how the rainbow is made. So you can see art right out there in nature. Yeah. So, to me, I felt that colors are the most amazing way to introduce science to early learners. And one of the things that I love doing in my class is where we set up a table of, primary colors like, red, blue, and yellow. And we find out, and record what children can find out themselves, record which colors are made using the different primary colors. And it's fascinating to see the delight on their faces when they actually figure out that blue and yellow colors make green, and like voila, purple is made with blue and red. So all these lovely things that happen, and the discussions that happen, hey, did you find out that happens? And oh, like I found out this thing. So there's a lot of excitement when we're having a lot of science experiments in the class through art, especially this activity. And I've also found enacting expressive arts like enacting and role play and dance and movement to teach topics like a life cycle of a butterfly or a plant for that matter. And if you can even search it probably on YouTube. You have these low soft musics where music settings where you can actually teach the children how to enact like a small seed, and then how it becomes like a little stem, and then a big tall tree, and there are leaves all around and tiny little bud and all of that. So it's fun for children to enact these things, for them to understand a lot about the environment around them. Yeah, so these are just a few things that I found very interesting. You can definitely pen down some more ideas in the comment section below, or you can, talk to us during our live feedback session. Moving on to role of art in technology. Technology is, we're nowhere escaping technology today, right? Even as young as 2-year-olds, as soon as they, kind of figure out there's something, buzzing around them or anything ringing, they are very attracted to technology. Yes, because mostly because it's the adults around them who are addicted to it. But yes, we can't escape the future. The fact that technology is going to play a big role in how we learn and how we function today and in future. So how do we teach that to our children? How do we make sure that our children learn responsibly? uh, we can use art. The role of art in the sense is so important for our young learners. To begin with, to even start with responsible learning about how to use technology. Before even doing that, when you use simple for computer functions, like even basics like switching on, switching off, or different keypad, different keys on the keypad, you can use certain tools online or inbuilt in your computer to help children to explore. So we use a lot of you use the coloring sheets from abcr.com, where they have like these fun activities with coloring a cupcake, or making a cake, or various different things, building a house for that matter. So all of these lovely tools, all for preschoolers, and that is a great tool for them to, when the teachers involved in teaching that to the child learns to how to, responsibly shut the computer when it's not in use, or lock the computer when he's not using it, or so on and so forth. We also have Paint Shop on Windows, which has a new version now, which is inbuilt in Windows and can be used very extensively by the schools as well. Have you ever drawn or colored a picture on the computer? If you have, please think and share uh, again in the comment section or in the live feedback. Moving on to role of arts in engineering. Um, Engineering is all about building, right? Building, sculpting, creating towers, machines, or bridges. Uh, so many things that are incorporated in learning engineering, right? But can you even imagine that it starts right from the early years, when the thought of, how do they balance a tall tower? What can the base be like? Will a sphere shape block be able to balance a tall tower? Will a cube or a cuboid, will a small cube and a small cuboid help to, be a firm base for a tower, or will a big cuboid be, a better base for a tall tower? So all of these lovely problem solving, critical thinking, and these kind of skills, engineering skills, build right from day one, when they are learning, when they are playing, rather, not even learning. I think no child feels that they're learning, but they are. But when they are playing with blocks, when they are building with blocks, and also even making sculptures with play-doh and a lot of other things. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, arts is a has a major role to play in engineering, because it starts right from the early years itself, right? We also, in fact, in our class, use tangrams. You see here these boards where children use these 2D shape cutouts, and they place them in the correct spot to create these wonderful shapes. There are shapes like ostriches, penguins and deers and peacocks and more. Talking about role of arts in math, music, dance, and patterns are an integral part of arts. Okay, and these can be very helpful in learning maths right from pre-maths in the early years to higher level maths in later years, right? I remember, most of my early years when I was a kid, doing all kinds of craft activities and learning how to fold. And at that time, I know that as a 4-year-old, it would be a little difficult. But I think that was a prerequisite for my math learning abilities much later on in life. So I can definitely vouch for this one. Maths, especially being little scary for a lot of our little young learners. But before even they've gotten onto thinking and judging the subject, we introduce it with so much of fun and art and music and patterns that they don't have any scope for not liking maths, right? So bringing arts to them in a way of, in the way that they can love maths, they can love problem solving, they can love critical thinking, because we all know that maths is very important for them to have, problem solving and critical thinking later on in life, right? And moving on to cultural diversity in artistic expression. What is cultural diversity? How can we celebrate these different cultures in our classroom? Today, in a world where we talk about inclusive education, we talk about, groups where we have we talk about inclusivity, we talk about uh, the universal design for learning, uh, which all schools are trying to imbibe or stand by. And all of these lovely, all of these inclusive things, all of these significantly, bringing the world closer kind of uh, things that are coming into place. How do we then celebrate these different cultures? Yes, the question is a very important one, but nevertheless, it's a fun thing to try to answer this, because when we try to engage uh, culturally different children in the class, we bring in, as educators especially, we try to foster love and respect for this cultural diversity that we have in our class, and especially in the artistic, especially through art and in their artistic expressions. So we can bring forth their different cultures through, by listening to diverse and cultural music all around the world. We could children can create props and enact role plays of different cultures, different festivals around the world. uh, we could introduce different art forms, from Japanese calligraphy to the African necklace. Uh, so many things can be brought forth. So many cultures can be learned about in the classroom setup, and so much of respect and love that can be fostered in a close environment, in a beautiful, nurturing environment, such as a classroom, right? So uh, so I feel this is like the best place to express artistically, and especially in a culturally diverse classroom. One of the things, actually two of the things that I found very helpful was, one was culturally, to create a cultural art day where uh, where the students share art from their different heritage, and they can, also maintain like a book for varied art forms. Children can talk about, have like a little carousel where they can uh, experience different cultures, different arts from different cultures, art forms from different cultures, and also maybe maintain an art book where they can record the art that they have learned from a particular culture, and also introduce art forms through significant days in your calendar, in your school calendar. If you can pre-mark their, the Chinese New Year, for example, or the German Reunification Day, or maybe Ramzan Eid, maybe you know various cultural significant days through the world. When you mark these in your calendar, you can pre-plan your activities for the children. So thereby promoting cultural diversity, promoting children, promoting the fondness, promoting the openness, and also allowing time for the children to kind of understand the cultural diversity, understand and accept and respect the cultural diversity around them. So, yeah, if you have any ideas, please pen them down in the comments section below, or please feel free to share with us during our live feedback session. Now we come to the planning time, where we're going to have a little assessment. It's a short assessment. I would like you to create an art-infused STEM lesson. Some guidelines that I would like to give you for your lesson plan. It should have a learning objective. That means it should you should know what you want to teach through the lesson, or rather what the child will learn through the lesson. That should be objective. And then your lesson plan should have activities that work towards achieving the objective. That means how will you teach, or how will you achieve the objective that you have planned for them? So how and what is what I want you to address through this point. The third one is differentiating for our diverse learners. So if you have learners, not only culturally diverse learners, but also learners who learn differently. So we all know, we spoke about kinesthetic learners and audiovisual learners and auditory learners, only visual learners, or children who are excellent speakers. So if you would like to involve, if you could involve all of these diverse learners in your class, and use strategies for differentiation strategies for them through that one learning objective and that one lesson, it'll be great. You could point them down after you plan your lesson. You could even write what you could use for a particular child, or a group of children. Then I would like you to include materials that you require for this learning, for this lesson, and a reflection at the end, so that you will know that you have achieved the outcome, or rather that the children have achieved the outcome, and that the class or the lesson has been, at the point has gone home, kind of a thing. So have these points incorporated into your lesson plan, and I would love to hear from you if you've been able to do this successfully, and if you need any help, I would love to answer any questions during our live feedback session. So make sure that you note your points down and get to work. So happy learning and happy teaching. See you soon.
So high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.